and the land is bare. People, there's a lot of this, what are these called, fertilizers have been used, so the soil is not as natural as it was before, and that calls for a shift in the way we think and the way we do our things. So we've been having education on the kinds of crops we can grow together. For example, when you're growing beans and maize, you don't grow them at the same hole. You just grow them at different, and you also space them. So also learning how to plant, when to plant, and also what kind of fertilizers to use. And also we are also getting people to know the benefits of trees. We use firewood for cooking most of the time. Right. And people cut down even a 40-year-old tree to cook. And it's not because they're bad people and they don't want the environment to be good. It's just that they don't know and they haven't been told. And I realized after we were taught, because during that chama, we had an agronomist talking to us. And after he told us about the importance of trees, I could see like the excitement in the women, meaning these are things that some don't know. And once they know, they're very eager.
And also the assumption that you would naturally, because being in the community, you know that is there. Yeah. You know, so someone also from the city, and I've heard it a lot of times, they would assume these communities, because of culture, they automatically know what to do. You know, so there's that misconception. Yeah. You know, how bad is it rather?
It's when even when you talk to a lady and ukimwambia kitu aseme oh, and you're like, hey, she didn't know that. So
because you think it's obvious. Yeah. You know, like part of the training you'd get, you know, as a part of the community. Yeah.
So this is actually a call to those who are doing climate change, the climate activists. Don't assume that people know. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Go to the communities, educate, and do it again and again. Because for the mind to shift, it has to be something that you have internalized, something that you have done day to day. For example, we are now encouraging women to have kitchen gardens. We've gotten used to the thing of going to the grocery to buy vegetables. But have we asked ourselves, even where do these vegetables come from? It is someone who took a step to plant them. So we encourage women to have those kitchen gardens, to have tree nurseries. In our chama, when we meet, we always plant. We've not yet started our nursery, but when we meet, we plant at least 2 trees in that home because it's a rotational, so that we can be able to conserve our environment. We're also teaching on grazing and the types of grazing that people need to have, where there's rotation, not just grazing the cows on one place and thinking that magically, you know, kitambo, like there was enough grass, enough everything, you didn't have to worry. But now we have to be very skeptical and careful on how we graze, how we plant, and how we live our daily lives. Also on garbage collection and how we dispose our garbage. For the plastics, we encourage for them to bury.
Right.
We just bury, just dig a hole and bury. And for the biodegradable, you throw them in the shamba because they become manure.
Yeah. All right. So when it comes to those cultural shifts, especially with the mindset, do you empower someone from the community to empower the rest? After now you've gotten someone from outside, because they would understand how to talk to the rest better, just like you.
Yeah. So we have an umbrella where we meet different chamas, and there's usually a challenge. So that the next time we are meeting, you have to give an account of who have you reached, how many people have you reached with this information. So, and it's like sort of a competition, so it encourages the women to do it. Because when I was attending, there's some people are saying, I went to this church, I did this, I did that. So, and also we also do the rotational corner, like what kind of impact you've done to your neighbors. Kama niwe pika yako kona kitchen garden, like, and your neighbor doesn't even have one, your neighbor hasn't even planted trees, now uko na miti imeja, you know. So that encouragement to just pass it down. Pole pole, because together we can do it. Yeah, because it's not too late.
Yeah, because there's always been the issue whereby people come from the city with the information, and then they're desensitized also. You know, they're not, you know, sure, quote unquote, of what the community needs. And then you don't get someone from the community to talk to the people in the way that they can understand, even in mother tongue, someone even who stays there. Now you know, so there's always that challenge in many sectors and in different particular aspects. So what are the positive outcomes, especially with now the empowerment when it comes to education for the young men and women in the community, now that they are seeing the positive aspects of mind shift.
People are actually embracing it, and women are even happier in terms of reduction of gender-based violence, because one of the key things that lead to gender-based violence is when you're not financially independent, when you're depending on your husband for oil, for food, even salt that's 30 shillings, you're asking for it from him. But when the lady is doing it, there's even that respect that comes from the guy, because they see that you're doing something. Yeah.
Okay. Now, significantly, you can say right now, if you give it a percentage, how much has gender-based violence reduced?
That's going to be hard, because it still happens. It still does happen. There's a lot of work to be done. I always use the statement, so little done, so much to do. I can't be able to give the exact percentage on that.
But there's a significant difference and change in that. So are we having now more girls, you know, coming to the city, getting empowered, going back home? Because you know, there's a thing. There's you and others who are. We have very lovely, you know, leaders who are in the city doing amazing things. You know, they're members of parliament, they're women reps, they're all that. You know, but how many of you are going back to your communities to make sure that they are, you know, just as empowered?
Yeah, many of us are, although there are some who have not, and we encourage them. I'm actually, if you're listening to me right now and you're from the Maasai community, you're empowered, please go back home and share what you have gotten from this other side. It's very important to take it back, because I think I'll give one last example of, we have girls from our community who come to Nairobi for campus, and they meet a lot of culture shock. And some even get lost into the city, because there's a lot that just comes with the change. So when you have someone who's gone through it before holding your hand, there's a higher chance that you will make it through, and that you will not fall into the party life or anything. You won't be, utakuwa nasema vitu kama nilikuja Nairobi ku explore. Or
lakini kuna hiyo so that's what I was telling you earlier on the conversation. You're 19 and there are others, of course, younger. There's that age where there's the peer pressure. You come, you get, you know, in all this, because you see it's a different kind of pressure from home, and then there's more exposure, there's more opportunity, and there's more that. So how do you deal with that?
When you have someone who's gone before you, for example, when I came, I have people who've been in 4th year. And now when I joined campus, I had a 4th year holding my hand. So you get, even if it's like you get the kind of exposure that is beneficial to you, because someone who's gone before you has gone through many challenges. And when you have someone holding your hand, you're most likely to make lesser mistakes than them. So it's actually a beautiful experience, honestly. It's amazing. I don't even have the word for it.
I love your positivity. You're right. And I just want to read a couple of, you know, responses, 2 or so from Facebook, from yourselves. Now, Govan Onyango says, by acting as a tool of control, motivating factor, just like Morara, right? And then Kim Ismail Yusuf says, by being involved in the day-to-day affairs of the community. Okay, I think I get what you're saying. There you go. So for now, I'll read those 2 from Facebook. This is in regards to our conversation. And one of the key things that happens a lot in society is the empowerment of girls, but we also want to make sure, or you know, we keep talking about empowerment of also the men. You know, if you're empowering girls, everyone needs to move along, right? So how are men, I know you said this a little in the beginning, but practically, how are men empowered in this?
So men are empowered through mentorship by other men who have gone before them. We can say that there are men who have thrived. Not all men are non-empowered, and there are those who are empowered, and it's encouraged that the men hold the hands of other men, because as the farthest I can go as a girl is to talk to them. I might not understand the challenges that they go through, or what exactly they go through, or the challenges they face. But I work with men, for example, my classmates who are guys, we work with them to be able to hold these men, to hold their hands. We have seminars and camps and meetups of men talking. It's called men-to-men talk.
I see.
And there's also a need for the fathers So it's a call to the whole community. You cannot leave it to one person or leave it to another. It's a call to everyone. Yeah.
And is that what we're seeing right now?
Yes,
you know,
actually.
like it's trickling down, like the way your dad was educated your mom, then it trickled down to you, you know, and now you're passing on to others, even the older women. So are the dads as active?
I will call for them to be more active.
You will call for them?
Yes.
Like you're supposed to, like, I will think about that, like I will.
For real, because you find girls are very empowered. We have many organizations, many people coming up for the girls, and I'm really calling on to them. And please, don't go alone. It's lonely up there. Just hold. I even tell my friends, my male friends who are empowered and who have thrived, I tell them, please mentor your younger generation, because the farthest a woman can go is as far as we can understand, as far as we can see, but only a man can also be able to hold a fellow man, because they understand the kind of challenges that they face. So there's a call, please, a call to all men to do better also.
Okay.
Yeah.
We still have a couple of responses here. We have Duncan Wabuti saying, I am a youth. I teach about financial literacy so that we as youth can have the right information when making investment decisions. We also do have Governor Nyango, who says, what drives your persistence? And is FGM still a thing in your culture? Like you said, yes, it is. But like Tamari says, it is also done in secrecy, you know, in some aspects. So it's not a clear-cut thing. You know, it is, but it's not. Right.
Yeah.
And we also have Edwin Otwane, who says he is following the conversation from London, UK. Thank you for watching us. Right. So again, now as a community move on, you've done a survey, so you know the quote-unquote numbers of let's say what the women are going through, the kind of the cuts, the people who are still getting cuts in a way or so to estimate. What is your progression going forward? You know, what do you see the community going into? What do you think are the things that still, especially immediately, need to be done, especially the short-term goals?
Yeah, so we need to make more sensitization and create more awareness, because people still think it's important, others still think that it's a rite of passage. Also looking at, apart from FGM, there's early pregnancies and marriages, and it's like it's celebrated for girls after high school. It's like after high school now, umemaliza, umefika, like you ushasoma. So there's also just creating awareness right now. It's more of the mindset, because we cannot, even if we bring things, we bring this, we bring that, but the mind is still backwards, then there's nothing we are doing. So and to shift the mindset is first of all awareness, acknowledging that there is need for change, and acknowledging that there's still some loopholes that we need to fix.
Okay. And acknowledging need for change is, you know, we speak about change as if it's sometimes a vacuum, in the sense that it's a regurgitation over time. You know, everything, especially in our country, keeps speaking about, you know, change. People keep hearing about it. It's almost something that you expect and not expect. How do you hold those accountable and make sure that they need to, especially leaders in the area who have statistics, who have numbers? You know, you're a young lady, so your survey is yours, plus maybe the organization that you're working with, but you have leaders in the area. What are they doing to make sure that some of these practices, especially the ones that are not forward, for everyone in the community, you know, are put to hold? Yeah.
So first of all, they've reinforced the legal system on FGM, but there's also need for more reinforcement. For example, for girls who've gone through gender-based violence, or let's even go to early marriages. Someone gets pregnant at the age of 13 or when they're in class 6 or class 7, there's still call for them to, because you go to, it's the perpetrator. If it's not handled, and if a law is not passed that will hold this perpetrator, then it means other grade 6 children will still be lured. Our leaders have done something, but there's still more that they can do for the community. I can also commend them for scholarships that are given to girls, because education plays a very big role. Because once education keeps you busy, because if you're in school, you have assignments, or you're in boarding school, you're only at home for 3 weeks. You don't even have time to move around the town or do what. So education has kept us busy and has kept us in school.
Okay. So it's something that you can see is happening and that is tangible. What about the bursaries also? You know, we've had the whole aspect of, you know, the new funding model and everything like that, and especially universities or schools in our area have their own way of running. So how does that also affect now this medium that is education?
Yeah. So, for example, in our area for bursaries, we get to apply, although there's also call for transparency. Because sometimes it's not able to reach everyone, and I don't know as far how much it should be reaching the community, but there's still more research that I need to do in that area. But I can say from the hearsays and from the conversations we've had with girls is that most apply and they're not able to get it, but others apply and they're able to get it.
And what's the criteria here? Why are others able to and others not?
I really don't know.
It's not something that's out there that's clear. Like if they follow up, for example, with the MCAs or the women reps, how is that, you know? Yeah,
some say that the fund is not enough for everyone and they have to be tight and cut, and they take it to the next time. So they're saying that there's lack of the funds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they given a time period that they can follow up on, or is it something that now, if it's not enough, they have to find other means of sponsorship for themselves?
Yeah, some connect. We have some good leaders who connect you to organizations that can sponsor, but others are actually just left and they go looking for help somewhere else once they miss, and hopefully hoping that next time when it's being rolled out, I'll be at the top of the list. There's that hope that's usually being given. You're told, don't worry, because you've missed this time round, next time you'll be on the top of the list.
I see. Yeah. You know, the speaker, Moses Watangola, he said that one of the things is most of these communities or like areas, different areas, have bursaries that are not consolidated, right? So we have what MPs have, the MCs, like I said, women reps. There are very many bursaries around, and there are very many, you know, aspects of, let's say, education and models that are out there that the communities may know or may not know, depending on the sensitization or the tools, you know, used for that particular, you know, communication. So in your area, do you feel there is enough sensitization on how, you know, one can be able to get, you know, the sponsorship or, you know, money for education?
Nah, there's need for more sensitization, because this is what happens is people who have connection. If you know someone who knows someone who knows someone, is the one who will tell you, there's this opportunity. So there's need for more sensitization. I don't know if it can be done in schools, even during holidays when we can have just gatherings, get us detailed on how we can be able to apply for these things, on how we can be able to get these avenues for sponsorship.
Okay. Has there been a sit down with the leaders for that matter, so that the whole community can sit down and, you know, go forward? Has there been meetings and the like?
Yeah, actually last week on Thursday and Friday we were in a meeting of organizations that work in Kajiado and Narok. We have many NGOs, and we realized that everyone is working from their own space, their little space, and now we are coming together trying to see how much more can we do when we are together, how much more information can we pass when we are together than when we are working individually. Okay. Yeah, so there are conversations that are going on.
Right, and your community is big on tourism.
Yes.
You know, if someone is going there, they're going through the Mara, they're going through this and that. So it makes the whole area really flourish.
Yeah.
And there are also other discrepancies that come from that, right? There have been cases of, you know, young girls who also been lured by tourists, others who just run away to have a better life with that end, right? So what has been the long and short end of this particular aspect?
So it's all about the mindset, honestly. It's how you
still mindset.
Yeah, it's still in the mindset. Because if you do not believe in your own capabilities, if you do not believe in your own abilities and what you can do, then you are able to be lured by these men. If a Mzungu comes and offers you a very lavish life and everything, if you don't believe that you can be able to acquire that by yourself, you will definitely follow him. You will definitely fall into it. So it's not even about restraining girls or keeping them at home or forcing. It's about constant. Or
knocking values, you know, like you have to.
Yeah, it's not about forcing, because when you force someone, they'll now go and try it because they're like, what is this that they're hiding in this other side? There's kuna raha pia, we have it to short term, but at the cost of what?
I
you
see.
know, at what cost are you going for these other things? So they still need for that mentorship.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to continue reading just a few more responses from our viewers. We have Fred Nyongesa who says, I'm following you up from Bungoma, Webuye sub-county. Thank you so much, Fred. And we have Jeff Ugi who says, great initiative, Tamari. Not an easy task, but an achievable one. Great show overall.
Thank you.
Right? See, so clearly that is maybe someone who is in touch with what you're doing, or is just listening to you for the first time, and getting let's say impacted, by your actions. So, what would be that one thing, as we wind up the show, that you'd like to, pass along to people who are watching you? What would you need to make sure that this initiative goes a long way? And also, as we wind up, you can speak about your foundation. What exactly do you do, and what are the plans that you have coming up?
Yeah. So first of all, to everyone who's watching us or everyone who's with us today, is to tell them that you can do something. It's not about sitting back and letting others do. Don't think ati ayo ni ya watu wengine, like let them do it. Even you, if you have a friend, a girl who's your friend or a boy, just hold someone's hand. It starts with a small change. It starts with the small conversations that you have, even your own classmates. For sisters, your younger sisters, let them not go through what you have gone through, because you've seen the kind of impact that comes when you're mentored and when you have someone holding your hand, when there's mentorship. So let's strive to be that bridge. You don't wait for grand events or grand activities. It's the day-to-day activities that we do
the big change.
That make the big change.
All right.
Yeah. So,
and your foundation? And
the foundation. So the Magal Foundation I started last year. It is a way of bridging that gap. Our thematic areas are education, economic empowerment, sexual reproductive health and rights, and climate change. And what we're just trying to do is to bring that mentorship closer to everyone. We have seen the impact that other organizations have made. We've seen the kind of impact that NGOs make in their communities. And my thought is, how much more impact can we make when we bring another one? We have an organization in our area called Kakenya's Dream. She's sponsored many girls, and I've seen how much she's impacted. And although she hasn't been able to reach everyone, because one person cannot be able to reach everyone, but when we come together, there's a lot that we can do. So we have activities. You can also support us if you would like to volunteer, if you'd like to participate. We do high school tours where we go and have SRHR camps with girls in schools, have conversations. One thing in the Maasai community is they don't talk about sex. It's an abomination. So if someone doesn't have information about it, then they'll go out exploring to know what is this.
Yeah, that's true.
But if someone has information is very important. When you have knowledge, you're able to make informed decisions, and that's what we are doing, passing that knowledge to girls so that they can be able to make informed decisions in their lives.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tamari. I appreciate you coming here and, of course, giving us your perspective, what exactly you're doing in the community, because there's one thing saying, and then there's the other thing, actually participating and doing and empowering other young women like yourself. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on Morning Vibe.
Thank you. I'm so happy.
No, we are happy you're here. Thank you for honoring the invite. Thank you for coming. Right. You have been watching Morning Vibe. My name is Remmy Majala. Thank you so much for staying with us this entire time. And we also appreciate your feedback, your responses on what you believe it takes to be, amazing, youthful leader, and what needs to be done. And from wherever you've been watching us from, we also appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, I am Remmy Majala. See you again tomorrow. Hi.